This is Robert Hitt. I'm here to explain something a little outside of the financial astrology that we normally do here. I've had a lot of questions about the Mayan calendar, and I want to explain it as best I can in in as simple as way as possible, so people understand what it is that we're going to be dealing with and why this is different than the four-dimensional time that we normally would look at with financial astrology. This is the Mayan calendar set in stone. This is the pyramid at Chichen Itza. Okay, when you look at each one of these phases of the Mayan calendar, we have them divided up into day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night. The Mayan timing system is based on the numbers 13 and 20. So you've got 13 different segments of each one of these cycles. This represents a nature of the way that these changes occur, with the fifth day and the fifth night being a crisis period. Once through that, sixth day, sixth night, seventh day, then become the gestation and birth of the next cycle above it. So you run into a crisis in around here. Then there's an acceleration which brings you up to the next phase, and that's how this leaps forward. The interesting thing about that is we're up in this phase right now that started in 1999. The fifth night, the crisis period of the galactic phase, which started in 1999, just so happens to be November of 2007 to November of 2008, a one-year period of crisis. And I think if we look at this now, we can say, yeah, we sure did have a crisis during that period of time. When we get up to the top of the pyramid, then what you have is this is 20 times faster what we'll be in 2011. So what you're going to have is a crisis during the fifth night of that last cycle that will only be 20 days long. So my thought on this is that we have the same level of crisis in 2011, but in only a 20-day period of time. That sounds like a time we really need to keep in mind here for our preparations, and hopefully we'll be able to stop the worst parts of that from manifesting. The Mayan calendar is based upon a structure which they set in stone, and each one of these levels represents one order of magnitude of change in an evolutionary time. This is not four-dimensional linear time as we're thinking of it. This is evolutionary time. Each one of these levels represents one order of change. The higher up you go on the pyramid, the faster the change becomes. So this first stage down here represents 16 billion years, which was one order of magnitude of change. The next level up is 20 times faster, 20 times faster, 20 times faster, 20 times faster. At our current time frame that we're in right now, we're all the way up near the end of the second to the last stage of evolution. This phase shifts in February of 2011. And that's the time period we're going to be dealing with in this discussion right now, because this represents the culmination of billions of years of evolution. And I believe that we have an opportunity, once we reach the 28th of October 2011, to ascend into this top of the pyramid here. This is the crown of creation, or the second coming, or whatever you want to look at it, and I believe that that all culminates on 11/11/11. So if this pyramid represents an entire evolutionary universe or shift from one type of perception to another, what happens after 11/11/11 when this is achieved by some people? Then the evolutionary changes start to come back down the pyramid, and the whole idea of Quetzalcoatl and the feathered serpent coming down the steps of the pyramid has to do with consciousness of a divine nature coming back down through all of these phases. So we hit this acceleration, goes into 11, 11, 11. Once we hit that, then we start to come back down, and so evolution starts to work to bring divine consciousness all the way back down to the bottom of this pyramid. It's going to take 16 billion years to do, but when your perception of time is different, hey, 16 billion, 100 billion, doesn't matter. We're perceiving things from a different perspective where four-dimensional time as we know it will be irrelevant. At the top of this pyramid represents this 14-day period of time after 10/28/2011. I believe that evolution will accelerate into this infinite change during that period of time. What does that mean? How are we going to evolve in that type of way? Well, I believe that this entire lower level of the pyramid has to do with four-dimensional awareness. Above this, once the underworlds are built, has to do with having fifth-dimensional awareness. This is as different from our normal way of life as a two-dimensional being seeing a three-dimensional universe. We're four-dimensional aware, we're going to be seeing things in a five-dimensional awareness. The reason why we have all of these ideas about the end of time is because our perception of time will be different after this date. The actual fifth-dimensional awareness has to do with being in the present moment, and from the present moment being able to look at time differently. We'll be in touch with our immortality as a spirit and not be stuck in a four-dimensional timeline.